Hola, aquí estoy con Cameron Brock, uno de los abogados más poderosos y respetados en el sur de California en el sector de accidentes personales. Aquí voy a hablar con él sobre su experiencia y por qué es que usted lo necesita a su lado. Hi, Cameron.
Hi, how are you?
I would like to, first of all, congratulate you.
Thank you.
On your last award.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, hello to your viewers and welcome to my office. The award we just received is called the Litigation Award that actually was given to people who were nominated as top 1% of lawyers in the United States. So we are very happy and proud of receiving such award, and we owe it to our clients, our attorneys, and the great team of staff we have over here at law offices of Bergen Brock and Legal Defenders.
So some of our viewers have no idea that in the last 20 years you've won over $100 million in settlements and verdicts for your clients.
Right.
In the personal accidents.
Okay, well, let me give you some background first. Law offices of Bergen Brock and Legal Defenders are a team of lawyers who've been around for over 20 years. Our specialty is personal injury law. We handle cases anywhere from auto accident, motorcycle, slip and fall, animal attack, construction accident, airplane, and train. Whenever there's an accident and somebody gets injured, they need a personal injury lawyer because typically the insurance companies would want to take your rights away and they don't want to give you any money for your injuries unless you have a lawyer who can defend you. That's when law offices of Bergen Brock comes into play. And for the last 20 years, that is correct. We have won over 100 million in verdicts and settlement for our clients, and we have represented over 10,000 personal injury cases with a 99% success rate. Well, why am I telling you that? Simply because nowadays insurance companies are the type of large corporations that they're in the profit-making businesses. What that means is that they want to get your premiums, and when you have a claim, they do not want to pay you out. And that's when it's important, especially on the serious injury cases, for somebody who has disc injuries, fractures, surgical cases, brain injury, wrongful death, or anything of serious nature, that you need a strong lawyer who can actually stand behind your case against insurance companies. The truth is that insurance companies hire the best litigators in town because best litigators will get paid handsomely by insurance companies to be able to take your rights away from you. How do you have to counter that? By hiring a strong lawyer who has enough experience and money to fight the insurance company's lawyers. And that's when we come into play.
When you come in.
And typically, in our experience, we have seen that insurance companies in the last 20 years of getting to know us, dealing with us, fighting with us, they now respect law offices of Bergen Brock. And that respect brings a lot of credibility to our clients' cases. That's why we are one of the highest settlement law firms in Southern California currently. So the insurance companies basically trust what we present to them, and we bring a lot of credibility to the case. So it is very important for clients who have been involved in an accident to really find out who is the lawyer that's coming into your case. A lot of people just pick up the phone, call some type of referral services. They said, hey, I had an accident, refer me to a lawyer. And the referral services basically send people to lawyers you don't even know. Maybe the lawyer is just out of law school last 6 months and he doesn't know his right and left hand from each other. He is a lawyer but has never had a trial experience, never been to court, never been to insurance companies dealing with them and knowing what exactly insurance companies are planning for him. Whereas when they come to people like us, we know it all. And we know how to take the case from day one and plan it, strategize it, and make sure the clients receive the best medical care, best treatments, and at the end, get the best results out of the case. One of the things we are proud of, we have over 110 years of legal experience in this office through our lawyers, and we have a team of about 30 paralegals working here. And we can always stand behind the clients. Now, the other point that clients have to be very informed about is that insurance companies come with large amount of money behind their cases, which means they don't mind spending money on expert lawyers, evidence, and whatever they have to do to be able to smash your case and not to pay you. Now, we come in with a huge financial backing, standing behind the client, so every dollar insurance companies spend, we can spend the same amount of money, match it, and make sure that if we have to stand tall in court in front of a jury and say, hey, we're standing tall and we're showing you the case is a righteous case to be able to get the right award, that's when the jury will see it. Because if you have a lawyer who can't really match the insurance company's power, experience, and financial backing, your case will be lost. So my suggestion to your viewers and people who are listening to me today is accidents are no longer a game for boys. It's for men to handle the cases. And for serious injury accidents, you need real lawyers to stand behind you. Otherwise, I've always said this, a bad lawyer could make a good case go bad, and a good lawyer can make a bad case go good. So pick your winning ace and pick the lawyer that's going to represent you and your family, because an accident always could happen. You don't know. You leave the home tomorrow morning and you find out, hey, you know what, some crazy guy ran the stop sign or ran the red light and ran into the side of you, and next thing you know, you're in the hospital having neck surgery or back surgery. Who's supposed to come and take care of you and your family?
Cameron, you know, sometimes I feel that, especially in the Latin community, I feel they go sometimes for the smaller lawyer because they feel they're going to get a more family treatment.
Right.
But, you know, and sometimes they're afraid of going to the big lawyers like yourselves because they think they're not going to get enough attention. So can you tell our viewers how you know, you have many locations, but you guys still focus on your clients like if it's a family?
It is true. When a case walks into our office, once we get to know the client, or we can get the client over the internet or over the phone, they call us and we pick up the case. What happens, we assign a paralegal, case manager, a lawyer, and a managing attorney, just like myself, to be on top of that case. We'll get to know this client very well, the injuries. We will direct that client to proper medical providers. And the theory of going to a smaller lawyer versus a big lawyer is a huge misperception by people to say, you know, I need to get a little lawyer because my case is not a big case. A lot of the cases who come into our office, they start as a small case, but once they get into the doctors and once they do their MRIs and once we find out that this pain is not going away, they turn out to be huge cases. So I've had multi-million dollars in verdicts and settlement cases which clients would have thought, hey, my case is only worth a few $1,000, ended up getting $250,000, $500,000, $1 million. Why? Because the injuries are there. So you need that personal attention, and we give that personal attention through an experienced team of paralegals, lawyers, and trial lawyers who can actually take this case from day one, work it through, and make sure the insurance companies understand what these injuries are all about. The truth of the matter is that insurance companies would want to pay you. They like to pay you if you can give them enough evidence to pay you. If you can tell them, I'll take you all the way down to the trial if you don't pay me. They're scared to lose money more than the policy they have sold. So we want to create that dangerous condition for insurance companies to be able to really look at the case and appreciate the true value of the case. Now, it's not to say that we're trying to push the insurance companies to get money that you're not entitled to. No, we don't do that. We get the right amount for the right injury from the insurance company. And that's our job. We don't strangle them, we don't push them, we don't cheat them, we don't lie. No.
You get what's just.
We get what's just, and we go forward if they don't want to pay. And hey, sometimes you know what happens? They want to have their day in court, and we stand tall and we say, let's go for it. So if they send us an invitation to do trial, we're there.
You take it.
We'll take it. We'll go. So that's why we have a lot of other lawyers who don't do trials. They send us their cases to try for them.
Okay.
So we are known as trial lawyers. We're known as serious injury lawyers.
Tough lawyers.
Not tough. You know what? I don't like the word tough, but I like to call it a powerful team of lawyers.
Respected.
And we like to put that power behind our client, because I always say that an accident, when you get injured, is just like you're having a car. The engine of that car is you, an injured person. The driver of this car is me, as a good driver, being able to run this engine and get you to destination. And your medical providers, doctors, and your treatments are the gas you put in the car. So the more gas you put in, the more injuries we have, and the bigger the engine, I'm a great driver. I'll get you to destination, and that's where the powerful lawyers come into play, because we take you from the moment that you're hurt and you're in desperate needs of representation all the way to the day that we bring smile to your face because we got the right amount for you from the insurance companies.
Amazing. Thank you, Cameron. So if we would like to get in touch with you, what are the best ways? You have
Well,
your website, legaldefenders.com.
We
And-
have many ways, 24/7 you can contact us. We have people 24 hours all available to be able to get your calls, come and see you. If you're at the hospital, if you're at the scene of the accident, if you're at home, you want somebody to come and see you, we have investigators all over town. So just call the toll-free number, the 888 number that we have, which is 888-979-7979.
The easiest number.
Oh, it's a great number. We love it. Or go to our website, legaldefenders.com, and get in touch with us, and we'll be there for you. But make sure, interview an attorney before you sign the dotted papers, because you don't want to hire the wrong lawyer for your case. Wrong lawyers could make the case go bad, and right lawyer could make the case go good. So don't waste your cases, as we are seeing so many cases right now coming through our office, and people who have been represented by different lawyers and are very unhappy with the results, and unfortunately maybe too late.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
Bueno, ahí lo tienen, el señor Cameron Brock de la compañía Legal Defenders. Así que si usted tiene algún problema tuvo con una compañía de seguro, un accidente, una mordida o cualquier cosa, por favor contacte a Cameron Brock a legaldefenders.com. Su número es 888-979-7979. Si ha estado involucrado en un accidente de automóvil, motocicleta, resbalones y caídas o un ataque de un animal y ha sufrido lesiones graves, es necesario tener un equipo de abogados que te defiendan contra las poderosas compañías de seguros. En los últimos 20 años, los abogados de Legal Defenders han ganado más de $100 millones en veredictos y arreglos y han tenido 99% de éxito en más de 10,000 casos. Vaya con uno de los mejores equipos de abogados en el sur de California y ganadores del premio Litigios del 2015. Hola, aquí estamos de regreso con Cameron Brock en su oficina aquí en Sherman Oaks. Antes estábamos hablando sobre su experiencia y ahora yo le quisiera preguntar un poco más de detalles de los casos en que él ha trabajado, porque quizás usted tenga algún caso similar y pueda aprender de eso también. Cameron, hi.
Hi.
So you've told us a lot about your experience, but now I'd like to know a little bit more details in some of the cases you've had in the last couple of years. I feel that maybe some of our viewers maybe have a similar case and maybe they don't think that they could go to a lawyer for it. I don't know,
Right.
maybe give us some examples.
There are no two cases that are the same in our field of practice. Cases are always different, but what I'd like to do is I'll give you a couple of samples of cases we've handled in the last few years for you to understand how we do things. For instance, we've had a case in 2013 where one of my clients, who was an 82-year-old man who was crossing the street, actually jaywalking, he was ran over by another person, and unfortunately this 82-year-old man had a traumatic brain injury and became a vegetable in a nursing home for the rest of his life. The police report was against my client. There were 4 witnesses against us. They all placed my client at fault for the accident. And about 5 or 6 lawyers had already rejected this case, telling the family that there's nothing we could do. The man was jaywalking, and that's the end of the story. When I looked at the police report, I found out that there are some issues that are not very clear. In fact, in witness statements in the police report, there were a little bit of discrepancies involved. So I decided to take on the case, and I decided to file a lawsuit on that case because it was a traumatic brain injury, and the poor man was in a hospital, nursing home, not being able to move anymore. It was just open eyes and just breathing.
Wow.
So when I took the deposition of witnesses, one of the witnesses came through for us, and she indicated, yes, he was jaywalking, but when he was hit, he was actually stopped in the middle of a lane for about 14 seconds when he was ran over by incoming traffic, which means the defendant in this accident had 14 seconds of time to avoid hitting a man even though he was jaywalking and not hit him and have an accident with him, but he was not paying attention to the road. And it was a doctor who was driving the car. I don't know, he was probably working on his cell phone, doing texting, and didn't see this man because when I took a deposition of the doctor who ran my client over, he said, I never saw him. He just jumped in front of my car, where the witness, one of the witnesses says, that's not true. My client was stopped for about 14 seconds before he was ran over. That same case that was rejected by a lot of lawyers, and we had to work on it for about 2 to 2.5 years, settled for $5 million.
Wow.
So that was one case of interest. So don't trust the police report. Don't trust what the police says. There's always ways that in the serious injury cases, you can look into the police report. You have to do your investigation, talk to the witnesses, file your lawsuit. So if a lawyer tells you you don't have a case because the police report against you, if you have serious injury case, go and get a second opinion. That's what I always say, because serious injuries are worth for second or third lawyer to take a look at it and make sure that they're all saying the same thing. Another case that we had that recently was finalized, it was a case of a younger man who was involved in an accident. It was a motorcycle accident where the defendant was texting and driving in the freeway and didn't see my client coming. And basically, because the defendant was wiggling in the lane, and he ended up hitting the motorcyclist, which was my client, and threw him over to the opposite side of the freeway. Which ended up having a back surgery at the hospital, and he ended up having a second back surgery. When the client came into our office, we looked into the case and we talked to the insurance company, and the insurance company was not willing to let us know how much of insurance the other party had. Even though the insurance was a commercial insurance, they were not willing to let us know. At some point, the insurance company told us the defendant only had a $100,000 policy, but we didn't trust it. So we ended up filing a lawsuit and finding out through discovery and taking depositions and talking to witnesses, the defendant who ran our client over or who was at fault for this accident had a $1.5 million policy.
Wow.
And at that point, we made a demand and we went to mediation on the very same case that they wanted to just settle for $100,000. They ended up settling it for $1.5 million. So when I talk about millions here, this is an everyday event in our law office because we take larger cases and we make sure we get the maximum recovery for the clients. The point I'm trying to make to your viewers here on this video is that serious injury cases deserve serious attention, serious lawyers, and serious money backing. Your lawyer must be able to compete and fight the insurance companies. If they don't do it, your claims, your rights could be basically washed away. And these are a couple of samples that we've had. And there was one more sample I can tell you. There was a homeless gentleman that came to my office once on a wheelchair, and it's a funny story here. And when he came to my office, he was screaming, saying, oh, my lawyer wants to only get me $50,000 and the bus ran over me. So the bus ran over you? Oh yeah, the bus ran over me. Well, what happened? I was trying to cross the street and the blue bus ran over me and went over my leg and I need to have a surgery and my lawyer is not letting me have surgery. So I took a look at the police report. The police report was not in his favor, but still the bus ran over his leg and he needed surgery and his prior lawyer was not letting him have surgery. So we took over that case, and fortunately we were able to put him through surgery. We were able to make him comfortable, get him a place to live, and make sure he's comfortable for the period of recovery. And of course, he was no longer homeless because he became our client. And that very same case that was being fought by the insurance company that didn't want to pay more than $50,000, all the way to the day of trial, and I'm talking about exact day of trial, the bus company came forward and paid $1.5 million for that very same case. So it tells you exactly what the public companies like bus companies, city, and insurance companies would like to do to public, because people are small fish and these are big fish. And big companies would like to take your rights away. So don't trust them. Get a good lawyer, fight them. And that's the bottom line. And don't settle for less, because if there's money, if the insurance companies have money and right policy, you better fight and get it all.
Thank you, Cameron. Bueno, así escucharon. Básicamente, este señor, el señor Cameron Brock, él ha logrado, él y su equipo, a tener éxito en más de 10,000 casos el 99% han sido exitosos. Así que si usted tiene alguna situación, algún caso en el sector de accidentes personales, por favor, entre en su computadora, legaldefenders.com, o puede llamarlos al 888-979-7979. Gracias. Si ha estado involucrado en un accidente de automóvil, motocicleta, resbalones y caídas o un ataque de un animal y ha sufrido lesiones graves, es necesario tener un equipo de abogados que te defiendan contra las poderosas compañías de seguros. En los últimos 20 años, los abogados de Legal Defenders han ganado más de $100 millones en veredictos y arreglos y han tenido 99% de éxito en más de 10,000 casos. Vaya con uno de los mejores equipos de abogados en el sur de California y ganadores del Premio Litigios del 2015. Hola, aquí estoy con Cameron Brock, uno de los mejores abogados en el sur de California, en el sector de accidentes personales. Así que si usted ha estado involucrado en algún accidente de motocicleta, de automóvil, algún ataque de un animal, un resbalado, una caída, usted necesita un abogado poderoso que pueda pelear por usted contra esas compañías de seguros. Porque así como usted quizás no piensa que no le puede sacar dinero o quizás no está trabajando ahorita, este es un tipo de compañía de abogados que quiere pelear por usted, que quiere representar hasta las personas más pequeñas que no tienen mucho poder para pelear estas compañías. Porque como funciona es que estas compañías son tan grandes, no quieren pagar lo suficiente por el error cometido. Ahora viene una persona como Cameron Brock y los abogados de Legal Defenders que quieren pelear por usted. Así que yo quisiera hablarle un poco con él sobre su experiencia. Él tiene más de 20 años de experiencia en este sector. Han ganado más de $100 millones en veredictos y arreglos para sus clientes. Eso es mucha plata. Y en solamente 20 años. También han tenido más de 10,000 casos y con 99% de éxito. Eso es muy, muy grande. Entender que usted tiene una posibilidad de recuperar lo máximo en un problema que haya tenido. Porque muchos de ustedes quizás no han podido ya seguir trabajando y no han podido recuperar la movilidad de lo que perdió en algún accidente y necesita recuperación. Y aquí tenemos una compañía de abogados que tienen la experiencia, que pueden pelear con el sistema de compañías de seguros. Porque uno siempre piensa, las compañías de seguros tienen tanto poder, pero también necesitan un abogado que sea bien poderoso para combatir a las compañías de seguro. Así que yo quiero hablar con el señor Cameron Brock sobre su experiencia y cómo él puede ayudar a las familias como ustedes y por qué es que usted lo necesita a su lado. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like for you to tell us and my viewers a little bit more about your experience and maybe some of the cases that you've had in some recent years about how you can help them the same way you've helped those cases.
Right. Well, one of the things that we do at this law office is that when people are injured and they reach out to us, we would like to take care of them from day one. Once we confirm that the person who comes to us is not at fault for the accident or the case has potential of large policy or large recovery, a lot of times we see people go through disability and they can't work. And basically, if they can't work, they'll be out of life. And they need food, they need place, shelter, cars. So the overhead and expenses of the house has to be paid. And most of the people work paycheck to paycheck. So what we do in serious injury cases when people come to us, once we confirm that there is a case, there's a policy, we try to connect them with a special bank that we work with, and those banks will take on these clients and put them on monthly payroll, but not really payroll, but monthly salary, giving them enough for them to keep up with their life expenses until the case finishes. And that's one of the beautiful things we do in this law office, because we care for people's life, family, and best and well-being. So In most serious injury cases, what we do, we take these broken wing clients and make sure we take care of their wings and let them fly all over again. And a lot of law firms don't do that, can't do that, and they don't know how to do it. And we like to give those services to clients who have been involved in motorcycle, auto, slip-and falls, or animal attack accidents. And we've been very successful at it. And I think your viewers need to make sure that at the time of selecting a lawyer, hiring a lawyer, they do their due diligence, go through the website, find out about the results, what we have done, what we're doing, and the type of cases we have handled, and then make a choice about hiring the best lawyer for your cases.
Thank you, Cameron. If you can tell us a little bit more also about the kind of treatment you give your clients from beginning to end. You have an entire staff of over 30 lawyers, right? And paralegals, and how you take from A to Z, how you take the clients and you really nurture them until you get that win.
What we do is from day one that we take on the case, we proceed with the insurance process, opening the claim for the client through the insurance companies, follow all the documents necessary with the insurance and Department of Motor Vehicle and the police report. Then we have an investigative team that actually go and talk to witnesses and get all the statements, investigation of the scene, and they bring it all over for the attorneys to review and assess liability. That means if the client is at fault or somebody else is at fault. Then we're going to find out about the insurance policies available, and thereafter we're going to concentrate, put all of our concentration into well-being of the client as far as getting the best medical treatment for their injuries that they've sustained. Once we have all the medical care completed, we prepare a demand package for the client and send it to the insurance company for the best result and the settlement. And that's what we do in a nutshell in a matter of 2 minutes, but this whole process could be very lengthy and very involved. And I think your viewers will benefit from coming over here and meeting the lawyers and paralegals we have to be able to assist them with their personal injury cases.
Bueno, ahí lo escucharon, el señor Cameron Brock de Legal Defenders. Así que si usted ha tenido algún accidente de automóvil, motocicleta, resbalo, caída, un ataque de un animal, por favor, tome su tiempo en contratar un abogado. Tome su tiempo en conocer quién lo va a representar contra esas compañías tan grandes de seguros. Así que tome su tiempo al contratar esos abogados que le pueden cerrar un caso grande o un caso pequeño, es lo mismo. Y aquí el señor Cameron Brock, con más de 20 años de experiencia, es una de las personas más poderosas en este sector. Y es el tipo de persona que usted necesita a su lado para pelear esas compañías de seguros tan poderosas.